So, Sweden, I went for asylum, and at that stage I was still Alex, and I've come back here. I got to Australia and built a little business thing that was making me money, and it all got stolen off me. And then I just got chucked down to Christchurch, and I think they threw me underground into a prison. And all these people were bottling up my life, like putting my life into bottles and some trafficking supermarket chain. And then I just am being imprisoned and being denied the right to be free. And apparently, those three guys tagged me and have kept me like a dollar pog. And all these men have got this sex tapes over me, and I'm asking for help because it's against my will. I would not be having sex like that on camera. I'm not like that. I'm too shy. That's why I had to take a break from hospitality, because it was really tough for me. It's okay, I can deal with people's problems and emotions all day, but I had to have a break because I was having all this I was stressed, and I had all these problems that had happened, and I was really shy about all the stuff happening, and it was making me hypersensitive about everything. And when you're hypersensitive, you're just reacting all the time and upset because you're going through too much all at once. And that's the thing, is it's not that I'm mentally ill. I can regulate my emotions, but you can't in a hostile environment. And this is a crime. I don't understand why they're trying to make me the dog X worldwide sex. It's absolute murder. This is real genocide. They've done it 3 times now. They've done it in Melbourne, they've done it in Christchurch and Auckland. I've had it. I don't know. I want anyone out there that's experienced this kind of civil war, and why I'm just constantly being bound again and again every time I break free. There's absolutely no way I was a sex freak in my life. This is a real misjudgment. I was never easy sex. This is crazy. And also, if you've got any way to ask other people without taking money, can you ask if this is human trafficking where I'm not allowed the rights to support systems? So I'm really struggling. I don't want to be they've crossed me. I have to read articles and things like this to find out what happened to me. And people coming to tell me things in the public, or old friends that have joined the organisation and leave me little notes and stuff, or sort of posters and things, so I know what was happening. But I can't. For about 3 years, it's kind of unfair, so I must have been crossed out in some sort of court case. I need answers, because it's kind of I'm innocent. I don't know what I'm blamed of, but I'm innocent. I didn't kill anybody. I'm guilty of getting very rageful ever since 3 years ago, because they kept saying I stink and they smell. And I didn't. I've had other people come and smell areas that I'm sitting in cars and things like this, in hire cars, and they're like, no, you don't smell at all. I had a lot of video footage, and they're erasing evidence left, right and centre. Yeah, I can't trust them at all. They just come into my apartments, and I don't know how they do it. I think they just must pay the landlord billions of dollars to just have a set of keys to the buildings or something, or pretend that there's some other kind of organisation. I don't know how they do it, but they definitely are able to just walk right into my home. And it's horrible. I am really upset about the sex, especially if my uncle's working and my mum is working in this organisation of compliance of the market of the flowers. Is that the flowers, the sex? Is that the police? That's even more crazier to me, that the police are allowed to sell our vaginas. Because I got a lady from some sort of Indian investigative journalist come up and say that she was definitely thinking that I was hung in the public to make a lot of money. That's what she said to me. She goes, I think you're kind of being used in Christchurch to be hung because you're quite a well-known person there. And then she just said they make a lot of money out of these public hangings, and so they must make a lot of money out of genocide. That's why they've done it 3 times to me. And I'm saying, well, what about my compensation? And also my stomach's blocked. I can do light exercise, but there's no way I can do like a massive run. Like my stomach and my area to go for a pee is just, it's not from age. Somebody's damaged me. Well, this is really unfair. I really want those tapes. It's really abusive. I don't want that blackmail over my life. I'm just saying, for a woman that I just lived a very innocent life is why I'm trying to tell you I lived a boring life, because that's my only way to try and tell you that I'm an innocent kind of person. I don't do anything really that bad, and I'm not. I like me being out there is going to, like, Kumeu, there's an artesian beer place out there. Like, I like sitting there and having a beer, or like going down to somewhere like the Spates Ale House in Christchurch and having food and having a couple of drinks. Like, that is me being rowdy nowadays. I wouldn't do it. Like, if you compare me compared to when I knew Dave, like, me and Dave were out drinking all the time. Like, that's how much my life's changed since I knew him. I'm not that same person. I haven't had a drink for years. Like, back then, I wasn't an alcoholic. We were just young. We went out every weekend. He lived in an apartment right in town, so we were always out. He was really bad, actually, with alcohol, and he had all these different... He taught me a lot about alcohol. Like, he had all these different drinks, like Jägermeister. That was a killer. He used to get me to drink Jägermeister and these. So usually this is how much my life's changed, because anyone that knows me today will be shocked. But back then, when I was with him, he'd come home with a 6-pack of kind of like, it wasn't Woodstocks, but they're like cans of bourbon and cola, and they're 12%. And then he'd come home with a bottle of Jägermeister, and then we'd have a bottle of like Grey Goose vodka, and we would be sitting there having all these drinks, and then we'd just like stumble into town, because it was like right outside our door, and we'd just be wasted. I'm definitely not like that anymore, and it's really, that's why I've changed so dramatically since I've known. I haven't, but I have. Like, I'm just some of the things that I was into, like drinking, and I don't go to gigs anymore, and I just changed my life, and I feel sad because I'm maternal. I want somewhere to live. Like, I don't think it's very beneficial for me to be living with these women that are all part of my exes and my old friends' crew if I'm not welcome in their members group. And then I just don't understand why I got kidnapped from Sweden. Like, they built a fence that I was a slut and that I was a pest to society, and ever since then I've been marked with a Jewish symbol. So I think whenever I go anywhere, I'm marked as a person of colour, and I think it's illegal to do that. But correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not, I'm wounded, and I'm just trying to heal myself, and I don't want that to be my life story where I'm going through violence and healing myself and getting better. It's like I'm missing my chance to be great at anything because somebody just keeps abusing my rights. Because they're using a lot of bullying. They've used years of insults. They're stopping, like, that you're in one group creating loving energy, and I'm in another group where they're kind of like rubbishing me and putting me down. It's a completely different thing, and my energy is harmed from whatever they injected me with some sort of, I think they injected me with Pfizer, and then they've injected me with Agent Orange, and they've poisoned me with like heavy metals and pesticides. Like I think they put WD-40 in my food. I'm pretty sure they wanted me dead, eh? I want the right to express my feelings to people and have a friendship group. It's not like me to not have a set of people to kind of talk to, or like even like one or two friends. I've always had at least one friend with me. Even if I'm going through something like some sort of healing, I've always had one or two friends and my cousins around me. I've never really felt alone. I can't handle it anymore. It's really abusive. It's they're making me suffer domestic violence and sit alone and go through a civil war of a plumbing toilet video all over the world to take away my peace. And it just doesn't seem like a life of any justice. It feels like I'm being punished for being alive, and it feels like I'm like, no matter how much crime they do of this toilet video, and I've asked again and again to make it stop, they just do it more and more and more and keep me as the thing X. And the kids told me at Narita's house I was actually kept as a monster in the dungeon, as a dirty animal, and that nobody likes me and everyone thinks that I've got a dirty ass. And that's Narita's kids. And she'll all like defend them and say that it's not true. They'll all just stick up for each other, and that's what happens in these situations, because that shows to me that she's protecting some sort of dodgy deal that's either she's forced into doing or she's getting money. So that's what happens in these situations. Just like when she took me to work and I was working, and then suddenly they manipulated it that I was not professional at work in Christchurch, and I was. They just asked me all these questions about how my mum sees me after that whole incident. And I said, what incident? And she goes, she goes, your mum must think really bad about you after that situation. And I said, well, dating that young guy? And she was like, yeah. And I said, oh my God, so then I just feel like I have to defend myself, which is baiting me into a problematic situation. And then they basically went in public and made out that I was not professional at work, but they're really deceiving. They actually start and instigate all the communication. So, and I can't get asylum because he's got this massage shame all over the world, and they're just leaving me as a no one, making me absolutely no one, erasing all of my work, erasing me having friends. They're all bought into different food groups and have left me with nothing. And I'm saying I don't want to keep paying this cult any more money. I've paid too much. As in, they take away my friends, they've taken away my honour 3 times. They're sexually assaulting me again and again, and I wouldn't be having sex with anybody. And then they're holding me hostage on a train that I was junk, and erased my heart. Apparently they had all these people punching my face and just saying all this nasty stuff. So where am I meant to go? I can't live like this. I'm telling you, I'm not happy as a person to live where I don't get the rights to meet friends, and these group of people are following me around saying, don't hang out with her, she's not nice, she's cheap quality. I can't live like that. Would you like to be treated like that? People don't even like it if one person is rude to them. Imagine a whole nation doing it to you and then holding you and buying you, and you're not allowed to be free. If I go to any other country, they're holding me hostage as a $20 hooker.